mob justice incidents in that school. Let's go there again.
But we are indeed scared. We must not avoid or sugarcoat the situation that we find ourselves in. That there is a group that is hell-bent to do bad things to community members and by extension to our learners. And we want to request those individuals to desist from doing those acts. The information that we had from the school, that there's a popular passage next to the schools where our learners are marked, their phones are taken and they are tagged, and there is a learner or a person that was identified, and the name of that particular person was given to the police so that the police can assist to really attend to that kind of a situation. So we also are victims of this crime that is taking place around our schools, and therefore we request on these criminals to really respect our premises and ensure that our learners are not harmed and our learners are allowed to come to school and are provided with the relevant support that we will get from the law enforcement agencies. As a department, we want to urge the structures that have identified the areas where they feel that we need to intervene, to feel free that as a department we are intervening and are providing all the relevant support. Our counseling team is here to counsel learners and provide the relevant assistance that learners want. We will work with the school if there are areas where learners feel that they've missed a test or they've missed some activities that need their attention. We'll work with the school to assist those affected learners to ensure that there is proper learning and that we can be in a position to attend to some of the issues that we need to attend to. I must confess, our main concern and the reason why we're acting the way we're acting is that we are 3 weeks away from the final examinations. And this school is one school that have swept many awards last year. The best learners came from this particular school. Top school in Gauteng is this particular school. So that is why we're very worried when we hear that this school is affected, because this is our top school in the area. They've won many awards in choral competitions. They've won single awards in terms of national teacher awards and other things. So this is our cream de la cream school in terms of our education system in the province. So something that happens to this particular school, we should be selfish and jealous and protect the school, because if we can't, it will harm the jewel that we have in this particular community. So, and members of the community prefer this school actually. So you don't want people to say we're avoiding to go to Unity purely because they are gangsters or they're criminals, and that will harm us. But if we check the aggregate bachelor contribution that this school is giving us, if they can't perform at that particular level, our performance overall as a province may be affected. And that's the reason why we can see ourselves here, so that we can protect this school, but most importantly, we can protect our learners and then protect society, so that we don't face the challenges that we are currently facing. It's just unfortunate what happened. We must accept, and it's just unfortunate that our schools were targeted. We've also asked the primary school where the learner that was neat-laced come from. We've also asked them to join us so that we can also provide that school with the relevant support that they need. We are pleased that the Provincial Commissioner of Police have visited the victim at the hospital, and they've given us the information that will assist us to plan and deal with those issues. Our parents must understand the decision that we have taken to say there must be no parent that is allowed to come to this school for now unless they've made an arrangement with the principal or it's a pressing matter that needs the attention of the principal, because we really want to protect our children so that they must not be scared. You can hear from them that they are scared, that they are not safe within the school premises. So we need to arrest that situation and assure our learners that we'll do everything within our powers to deal with this particular issue and all issues that have been identified. So we want to leave it there and wish our learners well in their preliminary examinations. But most importantly, in their final examinations. Those examinations will redefine who they are, so we don't want them to lose this opportunity, because if they miss this opportunity, it will be very, very difficult for them to regain this particular opportunity. So I want to leave it there. Can I hand it over to you, Steve, to then deal with whatever that you feel that you need to attend to. Thanks, MEC.
Thanks very much, Mrs. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, can we identify ourselves in that order? Tando, to the third one. 3.
Okay, my name is Tando Player from Eyewitness News. MEC was...
There are 2 MEC, oh, okay.
I need clarity on the rape incident and how the mob justice was connected to what happened. Was the mob justice sparked by the rape incident? Can you just clarify that? And are you saying that there are no pupils at the school that you guys suspect are part of the gangsters or the gangster group that community members are alleging them to be part of?
Number 2.
Hi, Kenny Makanga from News 24. MEC Lesufi, I just wanted to find out more clarity on the grade 10 and the grade 11 people. Have you identified them as gang members? And then MEC, for community safety, I just wanted to find out what is your plan tonight at 6 p.m. For this alleged Black Friday that's going to take place at the corner store.
Sorry, MEC, can I just please ask? I understand that this is actually not the first time, as you indicated earlier, that these type of issues of gangsterism go on in this community. I can name it from about 17 years ago. Singing is an issue, and it does happen in the schools. MEC, your Davey, your Nyati, I can name them for you. Where are you failing as both departments? Because clearly, it would seem that these members of the gangs are from a school-going age. So obviously this does affect learning in schools. What are you going to do in the long term? Because obviously you cannot deploy, this cannot become a military type of school where we have police having to walk in with guns. It's a waste of resources, but also I think that can be deployed elsewhere. And also MEC Lesufi, if you could also just help me understand, how is this related to teaching? I'm not necessarily talking about unity. Unity is a top performer, it's well known here in Daveyton. But in terms of your staff and the teaching, to have to deal with these type of things, are teachers adequately prepared to be dealing with turf wars within their schools? Have you been engaging with your employees to find out what is it that is actually going on?
And the 4th question at the back.
My name is Linda Mnisi. I am from Soweto TV News. MEC Lesufi, mine is with security in the school. How is it that community members are able to invade the school during school hours? Does this mean there's not adequate security at the school?
Okay, let's take it back to MECs.
No, thank you very much. Just on the first question about the rape incident, how it relates to what happened here. These are the people who marched against the rape of a 13-year-old who was raped by the stepfather. And coming back from that march, then people decided to group themselves into smaller nyana groups and went to and started looking for the so-called criminals. And unfortunately, a school by then was identified as a school that have a 19-year-old that was alleged to be involved in criminal activities. And I think it is important to actually underline alleged, because as far as we're concerned, there was never a case opened against that particular individual. We only saw him being attacked, and so far, and up until now, there is no case against him that have actually been registered. Hence, we've taken their fingerprints, and the boys willingly gave us their fingerprints to say, if we are involved in criminal activities, it's fine. We'll give you we'll give you our fingerprints, and we can check if we are involved in criminal activities. In terms of pupils, whether they're involved in gangsterism or not, I think that is the information that we are collecting, and information we are working with the community and the school to find out exactly that these boys are involved in gangsters or not. Remember, this is the area that 2 years ago had a serious problem of gangs, and together with the Department of Education and the community of the area, we managed to arrest that particular problem, and there was peace. And hence I indicated that some of the boys even managed to pass matric, and some of those boys were the ones that were identified as being involved in gangsterism, and they themselves confirmed that they are involved in gangs. The plan for tonight obviously will increase police visibility. Actually, from afternoon today, we will actually be deploying police in different areas, particularly around the area where there's going to be a night vigil, and then later tomorrow a burial. So we are going to make sure that we increase the number of police in the area, and not only the local police who are bringing in POPs to come and assist up until Monday morning in the area. Again, we'll still be deploying. Initially, we wanted to deploy at this school the police who will be here for 3 weeks, just to make sure that there is peace. But there seems to be a request from the community that all high schools we need to deploy, just to make sure that there is the peace. You know, the question that I actually, that is very interesting, and you always get it from our communities and of course from the journalists. It's about, where are you failing? We're not failing. Society is failing. For young boys who are 13 and 14 involved in gangsterism, it means there is a challenge around parenting. There are things that we are not doing correctly as society in bringing up our children. We have decided to dump our children with schools, with the police, with government, when we as parents are supposed to be looking after those children. So I think we need to go back to us as parents taking responsibility of bringing up our own. That is a product of love. Two people were involved in producing that person, and they must also continue to bring up the child with love, and not always blame the teachers and government of what happens to a 13-year-old. Actually, a 13-year-old, you know, when he goes to court, the parent must be there to stand next to him when he's being prosecuted. You know, a person who's supposed to be prosecuted is a parent who failed that particular child. So we have all failed as society, and not us as government and us as police and the school, but let us all make sure that we go back to basics in bringing up our children. Thank you very much.
Thank you, MC. In terms of the teaching staff, indeed, we're including them within the list of people that need to get support. We agree with you. You know, our teachers are expected to deal with everything, even those things that they were not trained to do. And sometimes it makes things difficult for them. But we will include them in terms of the counseling work, but most importantly, we'll find a mechanism of protecting them. But the report I received, actually, I must thank the school, that the teachers actually are the one that ensure that majority of our learners don't even see that particular incident. That even after the incident, schooling continued in this school. Yes, there were a few learners that might have left, but teachers tried to ensure that they protect learners not to witness the incident, but most importantly, to ensure that they provide all the relevant support that they need. Linda, it's very difficult. If 500 people come here, I don't have police at the gate, I don't have soldiers at the gate, I just have an innocent old man that is volunteering his services there. So we don't want to turn our schools into military gates. These are children. You need to ensure that they are free. We need to ensure that they can be in a position to enter our premises as easily as possible. But if you have 500 people armed, I mean, the principal was explaining that they've seen all forms of ammunition there, from pangas, knobkiris, pickaxe. If we're there, Linda, yourself, I think the first thing that you'll do is to check the nearest place where you can be safe. And I think that's what happened with our security guards. And our approach is very simple as the education department. We are an education institution. We'll invest more money in building new schools and recruiting teachers. Those that are assigned the task to protect us are the law enforcement agencies, and we leave that mandate with them. I know people say, MEC, can't you ensure that there are what do you call this thing that you search people when they enter the school premises? Metal detectors. Can't you ensure that you've got armed security guards? And our approach is very simple. I'll rather have a new teacher to teach rather than have those particular things, because law enforcement agencies need to protect us with those things, and they will do that. And that's our approach on the issues that we have just raised. I think other issues were responded appropriately by MEC Nkosi Madwa.
Just on the attack, what did you do when the criminals came? I mean, the principal put his life in danger. He was also physically attacked by those thugs. And I'll say a person who bring pangas, nopkiris, and in school, he's a thug. And I don't care what is the reason why he came, but obviously, when he entered the place, they entered because they wanted to harm someone. And the principal is one of the people that was actually attacked, and it's actually unacceptable.
Thank you very much, MECs. Do we have further questions before we close? Gone. Okay, Makaba.
Yeah, just a follow-up question, MEC. I just wanted to find out, I hear and understand.
Okay, watching a media briefing there in Daveyton, in Johannesburg, Gauteng Education MEC Panyaza Lesufi addressing the media, talking about mob justice.
Absolutely, the school process there disrupted due to mob justice.